At para talakayin ang uminit na UAAP Women's Volleyball Final Four race, kasama natin ang analyst si Doc Ian Laurel. Doc Ian, welcome back to the score.
Hi, DJ.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, very exciting times now for women's volleyball and the men's, of course. Pero alam natin, yung women's papalapit na ang Final Four. Digdigan ng labanan. The FAU today secured their slot finally as number 3. What are your thoughts on this? Are you surprised or are they fully deserving of this number 3 positioning?
Well, when we started the second round, we kind of knew already that La Salle and Ateneo will keep that number 1 and 2. Could be a reversal. Either one of them would be in that spot. But really, the teams that were bunched up in the middle, and we're talking about UST was even in the equation at that time. You've got FEU, you've got NU, and UP as well. So, as the second round went on, sabi ko nga kung sino yung mag-make ng final push, yun yung aangat. And it had to be FEU. After winning today, sila yung nakalusot at na-secure yung third. So, sino mga naiwan? Of course, UST dropped out of the race last week. So, itong NU at saka UP, they still have a chance. In fact, they're tied in the standings.
7-6. Just to give you a snapshot po ng standings. So, 11-2 Ateneo, number 1.
Yes.
10-2 ang La Salle, number 2, which, by the way, they play each other on Sunday.
We'll get
to that a bit. FEU, they're done. 9-5. That's their 14 games. They're safely at third. Wala nang mabago dyan. Pero yun na nga, NU and UP tied at 7-6. And these are two teams na, Doc Ian, na, you know, they had their good runs, they had their bad runs as well. Anong nangyayari sa dalawang kumpanya na ito na maraming umasa na this year is a really good year for them and they will make it a strong shot for the Final Four. Although may chance pa sila, pero what has happened to them in the second round?
Well, both these teams are a mix of young players, and maybe 2 or 3 of the first 6 are veteran players. So you expect really some inconsistent games when it comes to these two teams. But like what you said, these two teams impressed us a lot, especially when they beat the tough La Salle and Ateneo team. So sila lang ang may distinction na ganyan. But right now, it's really a battle of who wants it more between these two teams. And the remaining game of UP is against UST, which they already beat earlier. But itong NU, mahirap yung kalaban nila because it's going to be La Salle.
It's going to be La Salle. So although La Salle is guaranteed for top 2 spot, you can see na paglalabanan pa rin nila to go for the number 1 seed.
Yeah, remember, NU beat La Salle in the first round. So that's their...
So if anything, they want some revenge.
Yeah, if La Salle wants to win this one, they want a revenge.
And psychological edge would matter, you think? Kasi baka magtapat sila as 2 and 3?
Yeah, if La Salle wins their last 2 remaining games, that's Ateneo on Sunday and NU, they're number 1.
Yeah, and they can be 1 and 4 and meet this team.
Yeah, and you know, the psychological advantage of being number 1, of course, has a factor to play in the equation. And of course, the bragging rights between Ateneo and La Salle, who ended up with number 1 when it all boils down to the last remaining games, would matter also for them. So it's going to be a tough ride for these two teams, UP and NU. In the final stretch.
Anong mangyayari kung parehong matalo ang UP and NU? They'll be tied at 7-7. What happens then? Knockout nang?
There'll definitely be a knockout game, and that happened before already. So that's going to prolong.
So similar to basketball, pag tablaying 4 and 5, knockout na.
Yeah, meron tayong isa pang knockout game, and that's going to determine who's going to make it to that final 4.
And the winner will get the reward of being the number 1 seed.
Yes.
Whether it be Ateneo or La Salle. Kaya nga, as I said, medyo crucial for La Salle to have a strong game against NU because baka makita pa sila in the Final Four and you want to avenge the loss. And psychologically, gusto mong may lamang ka.
You don't want to end your campaign with a loss, of course, no? Especially if you're going into the Final Four, and that really matters a lot for these players. But for NU, it's a do or die game. You might want to say it. Na ganun siya. So, it's really exciting.
For the coaches, these two coaches go back a long way. Coach Ramil and Coach Roger. We know, you know, of course, Coach Roger with a different team now, but they go back a long way.
I know.
Anong klaseng pride din yan for the two teams who are trying to lead right now?
So, TJ, nangiintriga ka na niyan.
Nagtatanong lang, nangiintriga.
Alright, so, ako sasagot lang din. So, alam naman natin that these two coaches already had their whether say argument or misunderstandings before, pero mukhang naayos naman nila. But we can expect also that these two teams going at it, and with regards to the emotional side of the game is going to be very emotional for these two coaches. So nandun pa rin yun, hindi natin maaalis yun kahit na sabi nga nila nagkabati na sila. But it's going to be a different level of competition whenever these two coaches meet whether it's
so,
in the UAAP
kung,
or
let's say, kung magkatapat nga itong LaSalle and NU in the Final Four, sino ba sa kanilang meron ding interesting always to look at when it comes to these times, sino yung mga seniors na graduated? Because normally, they're the ones who really give it their all.
That's right.
What's on the line for the seniors of both these squads? And from what you can recall lang na, sino mga gagraduate na dyan?
Yeah, of course, Aragalang is graduating. You've got Ye Reyes who's also graduating.
Okay.
Demisilio, the setter.
Okay.
Si Fajardo is also graduating.
Okay.
So these are
So
the
that's
names
their core. Yeah. Solid yun.
These are the names that brought the early championships of LaSalle for the past 5 years.
Yeah, and they want to end with another one.
Of course.
Para naman sa NU, who's there?
Ivy Perez is graduating, General is graduating, and of course Myla Pablo. Their number one option is also graduating. So you got 3 and 3 for each side, and those are big names really.
Yes.
And they want to end their careers, of course, with none less than a championship.
So buhos lahat yan. Okay.
Buhos lahat yan.
Looking at Ateneo in the Final Four, we've seen it happen though, in the finals, na kahit thrice to beat nga, nabubura, di ba? So they will have a twice to beat edge in the Final Four.
Yeah.
But they've lost twice this year. They've shown some vulnerability.
Yes.
And not just that, they've had some close wins as well na naging tagilid sila.
Yeah.
Kamusta sila sa Final Four? Sisilip din kaya ulit yung kanilang weaknesses or should they have this one in the bag?
Well, you got to remember that this time they're playing without Maddie Madayag, who we lost an injury, and it's Amy Ahumiro who's back there in the middle position.
Okay.
And to tell you honestly, I think that really brings a lot of experience and toughness in that middle position, where they were attacked a lot in those LaSalle and those games that they were really close. So I think Amy Ahumiro will play a very vital role. Of course, setting-wise, you've got Gia Morado who's taking care of business, and Eliza Valdez, and she, if there's someone who wants to end their career with the championship, I think it's Eliza more than anyone else.
Yeah.
So,
yun ang ibang klaseng gutom siguro.
yun ang talagang...
Although she's got 2 in the bag.
Yeah, but this matters the most, ending your career knowing that you're on top.
Right.
Eliza Valdez, being the face of women's volleyball for the past 2 or 3 years, this is something that she wants really badly.
Okay, talk a bit about UP naman. What are their chances in the Final Four? If they make it, they'll play either Ateneo or LaSalle. How do they match up against these 2 teams?
UP, we started by telling everyone that they're very erratic. We don't know which UP team is playing. They've got some good games and they've got some not so good games. But I think more importantly, it's the crowd support of UP.
Talaga.
Grabe.
Which is, of course, the uniqueness of UAAP. So that matters to them the most.
Yeah, I think last year, the fans got disappointed when they didn't make it.
Okay.
So ngayon, I think they want to make it up to them. And the UP community, whether it's a game against the lower tier teams or the tougher, higher ranked teams, the crowd of UP is always consistent. So I think that's really a big motivation for these players and Coach Jerry and the alumni as well.
Yeah.
If you go to the games live, the UP alumni always there supporting the team. So I think that's a big plus this year for UP.
Well, if they make it to the Final Four, for sure, yung crowd support ng kalaban nila malakas din because that's either LaSalle or Ateneo. So that should be a fun one.
It's going to be a big party right there.
Okay, FEU, number 3 there, they're sitting pretty now. They're going to wait till everybody gets their mess done with the seeding and the rankings. How are they, will rest and rust be a factor for them? Kasi medyo matagal magiging pahinga nila before they play the Final Four. Lalo na kung mag-playoff pa yung number 4 spot.
With FEU, they're really the dark horse here, TJ.
Okay.
You know why? Because I've seen them play, and what I like about FEU is whenever they lose points or probably string up some errors, they can recover easily.
Okay.
And sabi nga natin, amnesia is beneficial to this sport.
In this
Makalimutan
sport,
mo agad yung
correct,
pagkakamali and move on, string up some points. FEU is like that. That's why you can see them drop the first set, win the next 3 sets.
Baliwala.
Baliwala sa kanila yun.
Yeah.
And you've got Bernadette Pons, who's always a threat. And what I like about FEU is that they're making use of their back row attack. And that's a huge advantage in the women's division. And Giselle C., their veteran setter, also very steady. So, again, FEU is the dark horse, and I believe that they can go at it with the tougher teams, and in the Final Four, they're preparing for it. And sila nga yung unang makakapaghanda dyan dahil alam nila, steady sila sa third.
And, by the way, before I let you go, there's a big game on Sunday.
Is there
by the way, Ateneo LaSalle again, of course, you know what happened in the first round.
Yeah.
How big of a deal is this for either team, regardless of the number 1 seeding, just to get that win and come into the Final Four and have that edge psychologically if they meet in the finals. Na, the last time we met, kami nanalo.
Yeah. Alam mo, people have been waiting for this game, and like what I said, we started the second round. Alam natin sila rin yung magtatapat sa dulo. So the benefits of getting 1 or 2 in the Final Four ranking almost the same. You get a twice to beat advantage. So that's negligible.
And for you, yung 3, 4, and 5 right now, halos pantay-pantay.
Halos pantay-pantay.
Okay.
So, mahirap mamili ng kalaban.
Yeah, okay.
So, hindi issue yung pagpili ng kalaban. But being the rivalry of an Ateneo LaSalle by itself, hindi ka pwedeng, you don't consider it as a regular game.
Yeah, not at all.
No, at the calendar, yung game na to nakahiwalay talaga. It's marked as a different kind of game. So, Ateneo LaSalle will always be an Ateneo. All the fireworks will be out, and you've got these teams, battling it out for bragging rights. Who's going to be number 1?
For sure.
And to remember, last year, hindi nanalo ang LaSalle sa Ateneo.
That's right.
LaSalle wants to
year.
create that same picture na kayo, hindi naman kayo nanalo sa amin nitong
we'll
season 7.
See if they've learned from their mistakes. Talking about Ateneo, and let's see if LaSalle can do it again.
It's going to be exciting on Sunday.
Should be a fun wrap-up of the elimination round, and then Final Four na next week. So, Doc Ian, maraming salamat. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, DJ. Can I just add?
Sige.
In the men's division,
sa men's
ganun din ka-exciting. So, let's not go into all the teams that are gonna, but the kind of excitement that you're seeing in the women's division, ganun na rin sa men's division.
Gaganda na
so, abangan nyo rin.
And we'll be showing the Final Four, of course, of the men's as well. So, salamat, Doc Ian. Thanks again.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.